What is up, YouTube? And welcome back to the Pope Show. Today, I don't know. Let's see what I want to work on in my garage. Now, I was going to make a video today on this guy. And this motor has a whole story to it. And I'm going to get into it. But now I got 3 of these motors. But I think I actually want to tackle this fan today. This fan I got in a deal with the generator that I did last week, I believe, which is this motor. Which I found out it's 11 horse, not 13 horse. Which sucks, but it's still 11 horse. Anywho, the same guy gave me this for scrap steel, and he also gave me, I can't see it. There's a snowblower out there. I'm sure I can just put a picture up. But he gave me this fan for scrap steel, but I looked it up and it's actually not a bad little fan. So I think I want to try fixing it up and reselling it. I think I actually make pretty good money. Because as soon as you turn the motor on, you just hear a buzzing, but the blade doesn't actually spin, or the shaft doesn't spin, I should say. So let me clean a spot out, because as you can see, I'm a little dirty right now, and get back to you. Okay, guys, we're just gonna work on my wife's side. This her side's a lot cleaner. Take this out first. There we go. So as you can see, the shaft does spin freely. It is rusted to crap though. Nice and rusted, so we're gonna have to clean that rust up. But so, as you can see, you know, the shaft spins freely, but I got the motor plugged in now, so you can actually hear it. It wants to spin. Oh, tried. But alrighty, let's go ahead and dig in the back of it. There's a pain in the butt. I should unplug it. That'd probably be smart. I don't know, I get shocked. It just pulls right off. Okay guys, so we got it all torn down to where I need to get to. I didn't have to take this off, but I felt like taking it off just to see how these threads and how those gears were in there. And this is the dial that actually switches going back and forth, the gearing. Well, it doesn't switch the gearing. It turns it on and off to where it pivots back and forth, the fan does. And then this is the switch to turn it on and the variable speeds. And then this is the capacitor. I think the capacitor, or the fan starter capacitor, whatever you want to call it, I think that's bad, and I think that's why it's not kicking over, because this is actually what kicks over your fan, the initial kick over to start it. So I think this is bad, so I'm gonna take this off, and then I'm gonna try to go to my local store and see if they have it, hopefully, because I'm fairly certain that this is gonna be the problem. So let's go find a new one. Okay guys, so it's been, I think, like a week, 2 weeks? I think just a week since the last part of that video, and where I tried going to a store to get a capacitor.
Nobody had them. I even went to an HVAC place. They said they'd have to order it. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna order it myself. You know, no point in doing that. So I ordered the part. I put the capacitor in, and it still didn't work. So what I had to do was some more research, and I found out that when it's a capacitor, it's more of, it makes a humming noise and doesn't run. But if you can spin the blades, and after you spin the blades, then it will run for a little bit, or run, then it's most likely your capacitor or starter capacitor, whatever you want to call it. So mine, I tried doing that and it didn't work. As soon as I spin it, it just still was bound up. So then when I had tore it apart, sure enough, it was actually one of the bearings that was stuck on the actual shaft that goes through the motor. And it's right in here, you can't really see it. I got a picture of when I was actually doing this, because I was doing it right after work, and you know, I didn't feel like getting the camera out because it's kind of a tedious thing. But in this picture you can see the bearing that's in the back right there. That was the one that was actually stuck on the shaft, which wasn't hard to pull off. Put a little lubricant on it, and then had to put it back in that little bearing holder thing back there, which was the most pain in the butt, because I had to bend those little fingers up, push it in there, and then bend the fingers back down. Total pain in the butt. But I greased that, and then I took the other bearing actually off the shaft. The shaft was rusted in the front of the fan, and so whenever I pulled off the front cover, the bearing came out of the holding thing, and so I was again a pain in the butt. I had to grind all that rust off the shaft, and then pull the bearing out, pull the fingers, put the bearing back in, push the fingers back in. So like I said, I didn't really record a lot because it was very tedious stuff. But I put it all back together. It didn't work. I had to do it like, I think like three or four times, because I kept putting the bearing either the wrong way, because there's two different ways. You got a little shaft that intrudes from it. And so a couple times after that, then I put it all back together. And I know there's wire nuts on here. Don't worry, I'm going to solder it. I ran out of solder, so for testing and just for this video, there'll be wire nuts. But and then this is the new capacitor. So I have everything back together. Let's see if it works. Put it to number 1 setting. Okay guys, so as you can see, that is what fixed it. Actually greasing the rear bearings. So I found out 2 different ways that your fan could not work. Would be either the capacitor, the starter capacitor, which would be, it makes a humming noise, but if you spin the fan, then it's just the starter because it's not able to start it. And then on the bearings, even before you try starting it on, if you can turn it, mine wasn't turning freely, it was like a little stiff, and then whenever I actually turned it on again, or turned it on, it would actually get even stiffer. Stuff like that, that would be the bearings in the actual back of it, which you just need to put some lubricant. Which don't use like WD-40 or anything like that. You want to use a electrical lubricant, because you got electrical parts in there. It's an electric motor. Duh. So today, I think I am just going to paint it.